From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, February 11th, 2017. Silver is trading at $17.95 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,234 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 2.5 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $991. Antiwar.com reports for the first time in the current ceasefire, Russian forces reportedly intervened on Friday to prevent fighting between two parties of the deal, the Syrian military and a group of rebels backed by the Turkish military. The incident took place just southwest of the Aleppo province town of Al-Bab. The rebels are blaming the Syrian military for the fighting, saying they fired first and that they simply retaliated, with Russian forces quickly getting in the middle of the situation and calming everyone down. The rebels claim to have captured a military vehicle. Turkey has been trying to get Al-Bab under control for a while, with a lot of rebels helping them. The Syrian military has been driving al-Qaeda forces out of the area around Aleppo city, putting them into close proximity as well, fueling fears that close proximity could bring them into direct conflict. With Russia working closely with both the Syrian and Turkish militaries, they were in a good position to step in this case and split them apart when the fighting erupted. Keeping the two sides apart may be a long-term problem, with Al-Bab still a goal of both sides.
In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake's security company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. But at what cost? And can anyone stop him? Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores.
UPI reports lawmakers in the Mississippi House of Representatives have passed a bill that could reintroduce the gas chamber, firing squad, and electric chair to execute prisoners on death row. The last prisoner to be executed in Mississippi was in 2012, after which federal rulings on the constitutionality of the most common lethal injection protocol, combined with court challenges at the state level, have held off any state executions, though 47 prisoners remain on death row. Under a bill passed in the state house 74-43, if lethal injection is ruled unconstitutional, a series of other forms of execution would be used unless they too are deemed cruel and unusual punishment under the Eighth Amendment. As written, the legislation first states lethal injection should be used. After that, a nitrogen gas chamber would be employed, followed by a firing squad, and finally the electric chair. Mississippi has used lethal injection, nitrogen hypoxia, and the electric chair at times during its history, according to officials, though all executions since 1984 have been by lethal injection. Utah also employs a firing squad as a means of capital punishment, but only if chosen by the inmate over lethal injection. Firing squad was last used in 2010.
For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
Reuters reports federal immigration agents arrested hundreds of undocumented immigrants in at least 4 states this week in what officials on Friday called routine enforcement actions. Reports of immigration sweeps this week sparked concerns among immigration advocates and families, coming on the heels of President Donald Trump's executive order barring refugees and immigrants from 7 Muslim-majority nations. That order is currently on hold. Ali Nourani, executive director of the National Immigration Forum, said in a statement, "The fear coursing through immigrants' homes and the native-born Americans who love immigrants as friends and family is palpable. Reports of raids in immigrant communities are of grave concern." The enforcement actions took place in Atlanta, New York City, Chicago, Los Angeles, and surrounding areas, according to David Moran, Director of Enforcement and Removal for the Los Angeles Field Office of U.S. Immigrations and Custom Enforcement. He said only 5 of the 161 people arrested in Southern California would not have been enforcement priorities under the Obama administration. Moran called the 5-day operation an enforcement surge. He said that such actions were routine, pointing to one last summer in Los Angeles under former President Barack Obama. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.